On yesterday's show, we discussed the key levels, the exact zones that we're looking for Bitcoin to close at. And on today's show, we'll have a look at where things are because we got the close, the exact price point that we needed to see. And it only just managed to hang on literally by a thread. So the question is, what does this mean next for the rest of the crypto market? Are we going to see a very, very, very strong February as we have seen historically? Are we going to get those massive pumps? And will there be any form of an altcoin season, right? We know that a lot of people are hurting when it comes to altcoins, especially if you have made the wrong pick. So we'll discuss that and what you can do as well if you are down, what you can do next. Smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get straight into it. Banter bubbles on the daily time frame over here. Most of the coins are actually still up. Yesterday, there was quite a big pump across the market. Today, of course, giving up a little bit of those gains, but that's perfectly normal. Of course, following a big push up, there will be some short-term traders taking some of those profits. And I think that ultimately it is going to present an opportunity as long as Bitcoin holds on the 4-hour time frame, the levels that I'm about to share with you. So do stay tuned until the very, very end. And then let's quickly have a look over here what happened in the stock market. Of course, the market is closed, which is why the bubbles are gray for the stocks. But on the weekly, looks similar to crypto, right? About half and half up, the other half down. Pretty much the same picture over there. So that just shows these markets do move in unison. Now, January, we're currently at 11%, right? 11%. If you look at the number of greens and the number of reds, it's kind of a 50-50 shot when it comes to January, whether it's going to be a green or red month. But if you look at February, you can see that the odds start to skew massively in favor of mostly a green time, right? A green February only had 2 time periods, which would have been 2014 and 2020, where you had a red February, and 2020 was, of course, starting to lead into, remember the charts always know, the charts can always sniff out if something major is coming. So February started to close right before we had the pandemic, of course, where everything went down massively very, very early in March. So it started to sniff out the crisis was coming. And I think if it wasn't for that, you probably would have actually seen a green February in 2020. So I think as the trend suggests and as history suggests, it does look more than likely that we should have a very, very strong and green February this year as well, which is coming into next month. If we look at the monthly time frame for Bitcoin, what we can see over here is we mapped out previously the big inefficiency candle or fair value gap. We saw price came into that zone. We actually wicked below this candle. That created a lot of fear within the market. And I do believe that was most likely a shakeout, right? Especially so if you have to use the replay function and you were to go back and you're starting to see a candle like that. And now suddenly you start to print another new candle that's below that level. That, of course, at that point would be very, very scary when it was red. Now price is trading much, much higher. And consequently, the chances are that that was the shakeout, right? So you've essentially breached the bottom of the candle from December, you breach the top of the candle from December, and now this candle is probably going to close within that trading range. So you can start to look for full, rapid, massive expansion as soon as you start to close those high time frame candles above $108,000. And based on everything that we showcased yesterday, you know, looking at the weekly, the daily time frame, and the 4-hourly time frame, it looks like it's most likely going to occur sometime during February. We'd expect that's going to be the big candle that follows through and continues on this bull run, right? And then we need to see what may happen with altcoins, right? So looking at the weekly scale, we still want to see a high time frame weekly candle closing above the white line that we have situated over here, which is at $104,447. We haven't yet seen that. There has been selling pressure that came in there, but there's many more reasons here to be bullish than to be bearish. You do have confluence of the trend. You do also have, of course, the 21 exponential moving average, the range low that's holding there, the stop and reversal indicator that's in place. So everything looks good over there. And we got the close over here on the 5-day time frame. But as you can see, only just, and that just showcases what a battle it is for this particular level, right? Between the bulls and the bears, they're fighting aggressively to take control of this zone, right? It's like a tug of war when it comes to trading. You just want to side on the team that has the more momentum that's going to actually win that tug of war. So looking at these key levels, I'll zoom in over here. Use the yellow line over there to showcase the previous 21st of January close that we had. That was a bullish candle close. We closed over there. This candle, we narrowly also closed at about the same zone. And now we're on the new 5-day candle. So we'll be looking for a full body candle close above this. At the end of the day, more reasons to be bullish than bearish. You're essentially doing the grind into resistance, the area that bears are trying to defend. And I think bears are going to lose the battle. And usually when they lose that battle, they'll move over onto the bull side, and then you'll lead to rapid price appreciation. The great thing over here is that you have an amazing level of invalidation on the bullish side. Remember, when it comes to trading, you must always say, where am I right and where am I wrong if I do take this trade? So the answer is, if you are taking the bullish case, you are incorrect if you start to break below that candle, which is 97,715. Essentially, if you do lose that level, then expect prices probably going to go down to the bottom of the range at about $91,000. The problem is that if you do go back to $91,000, you have hit this level so many times that there will be a good chance that you breach through and you go much, much lower. But one step at a time. As it currently stands, the bears have equal risk over here in the sense that we've hit this level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're grinding into that for the 6th time, right? Similar to what happened at the range low over here. So I'm more inclined to believe that we're probably going to break through this level over the next coming week, right? And we have support over here, stochastic RSI going up, support as well in terms of the Bollinger Band with percentile expanding, showing that volatility is about to enter into the market, and you should see some great continuation up, I believe, into the $120,000 to $130,000 level. So all in all, that's looking really, really decent. We can also look over here at Bitcoin holding above the high volume area. Still haven't confirmed yet the high low. Where do we confirm the high low? Remember what I said yesterday. We need to see candle closes on the daily, call it $105,000. 105,000 or higher will confirm this is a high low. We have not yet seen that. We came very, very, very close yesterday. So the next couple of days are going to be incredibly interesting. Remember, we are going into the weekend. Weekend price action can be incredibly trappy. Remember, it's low volume, low volatility. There's not that many traders that are trading, and therefore the order book can be manipulated very, very easily. So we will see how the weekend goes. Expect that there could always be a little bit of a trap thrown at you. In my experience, the trap would be something like this. Then one more flush creates additional pain, and then Monday somehow you trade back towards the highs over here. So just mentally prepare in case something like that does happen over that low volume environment. We know that people are suffering. They're feeling the pain and frustration of these crypto markets, but everything suggests that we should be going for continuation and follow through with this pattern. Now, if we do start to lose this high volume area, that's where we start to say that there is something different happening over here, and we could actually be in a major distributive pattern, right? We've said we either range bound or we are starting an uptrend over here, right? But as I've suggested, if we do lose these volume areas and you spend time around this range low, you're probably going to break that range low down, which is why if you're bullish, you definitely want to see this level hold. So if we do happen to lose this point of control, which just so happens to align with where that wick is, right? Same thing as what I just showed you, where your invalidation would be on this particular candle over here. So we'll just quickly highlight that. This particular candle over here is the same as this candle over here, where the high volume point of control is at 97,479. If you do start to lose that, and we haven't seen the 7-day daily exchange volume rising towards the upside, but instead continues towards the downside. Remember, we've spoken about this a lot. That means the wind's out the sails, and then you may start actually going in for a deeper correction, right? But history suggests that we should have a strong February, and therefore I remain optimistic and bullish, looking for higher prices, right? You have the 9 and 18 exponential moving average continuing to expand here. This is essentially your trading range. We had the perfect back test into the downsloping trend line over here, which once broken, you back tested holding a support, and now you're attempting to put in that high low. Again, closing above those, that $105,000 level should confirm that as a high low. On the 4-hour time frame, this is essentially what I'm looking at in the short term. Now, you may already be front running this level right now as we currently speak. Monitor this as the day goes past, but the area of interest for me personally is right in the zone over here, right where these wicks have come. It could come a little bit lower. It could wick down to 102,500, but as long as I'm seeing closing candles above the 0.382, how did I get that level? Using the Fib retracement, we've anchored from the bottom. to the top over here, and we have the 0.382, which in bull markets are very, very significant zones where support is most often found. So that's one area of confluence. You have a second area of confluence in the form of your 4-hour trend that's been broken, the green line running down. It lines up at the same point. And on top of that, you have your 50 exponential moving average, which is coming in over here. So I like that as a sweet spot to hold price, form the high low, and then run it back up, right? So that's your short term. That's what you're looking at in the short term, right? The short term is, of course, going to bleed into the high time frames. If you do get this bounce over here and you hold this level, maybe this area is being front run right now as we do the show live, and you see the market continuing to push up, reclaim the top side of the trading range, understand what that means for the high time frames like the daily. That means that you confirm the high low on the daily time frame, which ultimately means that you get continued expansion on the 5-day, which means that you're also probably going to close your next 5-day candle above in this territory, and then it's all systems go and a big breakout, right? What will happen to altcoins? So that's the real question, right? We'll talk about that as well, and which have been the best performing altcoins for the cycle. Remember, trends tend to continue. So if they were the best performing from start to current time period, they're probably going to continue to be the best performers for the rest of the cycle, right? You can actually vote. There's a poll section below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. If you go over here, you can see what the current rankings are, but feel free to skew the poll results if by voting now. We've got 1,133 of you voting. Do you believe there will be any form of an altcoin season? Yes, history will repeat at 49% so far. Yes, but less than 10% of the coins will run. 31% of you believe that. No, this cycle is different. Actually, 18% of you believe it's different. And you need to comment below. 3% of you, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. So vote on the poll section below. This is for the live viewers over there. You just go to the chat section or comment section and you can vote over there. So that's the 4-hour lead. That's what we're looking at. What I would recommend is if you don't already have any skin in the game, you probably should be at least looking to get some positions on the table. Again, I've given very, very clear invalidations of where you can place your stop losses. Remember, if you do want a non-KYC exchange where you could trade completely free, there's no maker or taker fee on the spot trading, and there's no maker fee for leverage trading, only a taker fee. Use the link in the description below. That will take you to K6 non-KYC exchange over there, and you can claim up to a $370 sign-up bonus. The most important thing about this is very, very quickly, I think we're about to run out of time, so you'll need to pause this video, but you have 2 hours and 37 minutes left to join into Whale School, right? We're doing the next live session today. We do the live cohorts where you can ask me questions. We discuss all relevant topics around the course content and the current market conditions. Everything is listed below for you. If you sign up to K6, you'll get your entry, right? That is your entry essentially into Whale School, right? So sign up below, use the link. Make sure you join. This is what you can expect to learn. Risk management, support and resistance, candlesticks, chart patterns, ranges, and trends. That's what we're going to be covering today. Then we go through moving averages, market cycles, so how to navigate the market depending on where you are in the broader market cycle, portfolio structuring, what type of portfolio to have at various points in the market cycle, how to read liquidity, volatility, and then how to execute your trades, right? That's probably the most important lesson alongside risk management. So everything in this course actually has risk management in mind, by the way, helping you not to take too much risk and blow yourself up. So let's continue. Everything is listed below for you. We can see over here that the funding rates on the weekly scale are starting to drop, right? Showing a lack of direction or decision making within the markets, right? So people are very, very, very uncertain right now. The fear and greed index does not suggest, anything neutral. It's still reading greed, which is not in agreement with this. This is essentially would be placing the fear and greed. If you were to utilize this as a fear and greed index, this would place you somewhere in the neutral territory, right? So not fearful, not greedy, just kind of in the middle over there, undecided as to what comes next. And we can actually see that as well. If you go into the Whale Room Discord and you have a look over here at the mixed liquidation deltas, that's what you're seeing, right? Mixed signals. You have some coins that are running positive deltas, some that are running negative. The deltas simply refer to whether the traders are net long or net short, right? So this is a mixture over here. Near heavily short over there. You have Pepe also heavily short over there. Traders are heavily short. You have Bitcoin positive, ETH slightly positive, Solana slightly positive, and then of course the other two on the bottom are negative, right? So driven by the stock market, we do always need to check the stock market. Stock market also kind of in an undecided space as it just chops about in a little bit of a range-bound environment, but very, very similar to Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame. I do believe that this is probably going to, following have been the break of structure over there, just a back test into that region. And this is probably going to become a higher low similar to Bitcoin. And as soon as you start to see those candles closing above here, you're going to see a massive excitement coming back into the market. And I think that this will start to rally much higher. Remember, some of the analysts that actually got it right in the stock market over the course of the last couple of years have actually called for a 7,000 point S&P 500 chart, right, which would essentially take you by the end of the year somewhere into this region, which is absolutely ludicrous, right? Understand if you do get this type of a move, 15% move, that can easily be between 50 and 100% move for Bitcoin, which is probably going to be 300 to 400% for altcoins. So we can also look to Coinbase, which is sometimes a good indicator to look at to see where altcoins may actually go. And if we do look at Coinbase over here, Coinbase is still maintaining, just to be clear, it just takes time, right? It's still maintaining that absolutely massive cup and handle formation, very similar to what all the others in, or the altcoin indexes like others and Total 3 show. They show the same things, right? Big cup and handle formation. You are essentially consolidating following what was already the back test. This is usually your shakeout period into this zone over here, shaking a lot of players out of their positions and prepping for the next move up. So Coinbase, how high could Coinbase go from current levels? Well, from current levels over here to the top of the measured move, you're looking at about an 83% move, which makes a lot of sense, because if you do actually see the S&P 500 run 15%, then Coinbase should at least do 3 times that, right? Because crypto moves between a 3 and a 5x multiple versus what the stock market does. So for every 1% the stock market goes up, crypto stocks and cryptos as in terms of the coin sense would do 3 to 5x, right? Specifically Bitcoin and Coinbase. Okay, quickly looking at Tesla over here. So Tesla, still a potential deviation in place, right? I look at a lot of these very, very, very smart people that analyze, all the books for Tesla and every single thing in their like 1,000-page reports that come out each time. And I just find the technical analysis is just so much easier to look at, because their minds are baffled, right, with the current price action over here, given the dip that they had. This is pretty volatile, right? 23.75% drawdown. That's kind of like what you'd see in Bitcoin. Now, I'm not calling anything bearish or bullish on here. And I'm sure some of you will be like, great, thanks, genius, up or down, right? We do read the comments. We understand if somebody's new to trading, they don't get these types of things. At the end of the day, this was a powerful trend towards the upside. What I would say over here is, well, you're starting to put in slowly higher lows, but you're putting in lower highs. Therefore, I would just focus on the breach of the next level as the most likely direction, right? What I mean by that, well, if we go over here and let's just quickly chuck some of this on. So I would say if you start to see closing candles above 433, probably you've deviated this level, this key range high level, and you're going to continue towards the upside, at which point this becomes a major shakeout, a major high low, and you're going to have continuation. If you start to take out this level over here, which is going to be where those previous wicks were at 383, then expect that Tesla could very, very, very well make its way back down into the fair value gap, right? So here's your bearish case, right? Your bearish case is if you gain acceptance below this level, then you would be looking to short trade this or just be cash positioned as Tesla moves down to the fair value gap, which would be way lower, all the way down to, anywhere on the top side between 313 and on the low side 273. That's a sizable move, right? Alternatively, if you see continuation over here, chops about, and then you can start to hold above 433, well, then you consider this as one massive deviation. You created a bit of a shakeout, but you held the range high, and then you're looking at trend continuation. Now, it probably moves in alignment with what the rest of the stock market does, but just food for thought, they did miss their earnings. We covered that just, I think, like 3 days ago. So that's your current picture, right? Forming a little bit of a symmetrical triangle over here. So you can just keep an eye out on those levels. There you have it. And I guess let's just put one in over there. Let's see, does it line up with the left-hand side? Let's just put it in like that. Okay, so give or take, these are your pivot levels. The good news is that you should have your answer very, very soon, right? Because you've reached the apex of this move. The preceding trend, the prior trend is up. So probability-wise, look for upside continuation. Okay. Anyways, let's continue. We have the USDT dominance. The couple of down candles over here created the pump yesterday. That's 2 days in a row. Let's see if we can get further breakdown. I did say at some point you probably get one more trap, but as long as you're putting in those lower highs on the daily for the USDT dominance, it should be good. Full-blown alt season occurs underneath the support level at 3.76, right? Here's your others chart. Now, based on what the chart patterns suggest, I would be looking for the USDT dominance to break down, because if the chart pattern is actually going to hold true, then this cup and handle doesn't really have much room for further downside, right? It really is a do or die situation for others needing to hold here, right? This must hold here. If this doesn't hold here and you start to break back down, you're kind of invalidating this entire cup and handle formation. So basically, you're looking for a move to happen very, very soon. This is a weekly scale. So how much more chop could you get? Well, you could chop all the way into March, right? I think that based on the seasonality, though, you should probably see this form high, lows, and continuation. If you're a safe trader, cautious trader, remember this is the level to reclaim 392 billion. You want to get back above that. Let's double check total 3. Let's also have a look at total 3 against Bitcoin and others against Bitcoin, right? Total 3, very, very similar. It also already has started to play out the cup and handle formation, with this having been the neckline. So that breakout is in play right now. If we look at total 3 against Bitcoin, well, this is chopping about attempting to hold this level, right? We spoke about the significance of this zone. We spoke about a long time ago the breakup structure over here, which was really good. The throwback into this level where the breakup structure occurred. And now you basically just want to see bulls hold up over here and push price higher. Okay, look at the nice reaction over there from others. Again, this tells me most likely this was a front-run area, right? A lot of people will be looking at this particular area on others against Bitcoin. This area is getting front-run. But now it's time for this to start to move, similar to the others USD chart, right? Now is time for this to start to move. You don't want to see this hang about here anymore. It means that February needs to be a big month, right? If February is not going to be a big month, altcoins are going to get heavily wrecked, right? If February is going to be a big month, I expect others to start to rally aggressively now. I expect others against BTC to also start to rally aggressively now, which then brings me into the next point. What are going to be the best coins to be in? The ones with relative strength, right? And the ones that have relative strength, which have done very, very well when you consider the top 20 coins, have been these, right? In order from top to bottom, right? So the highest one, the best one, has been Solana. Second to that has been 𝗬𝗎. This is your return on investment from the cycle low I've taken from January 2023 and overlaid that. You can kind of compare each of them to each other. Believe it or not, the third one has been XRP, and then HBAR, and then you have BTC. So pretty much if you've been in Solana, 𝗬𝗎, XRP, or HBAR, you've outperformed BTC from the cycle lows. If you've been in any of the other coins, like what we have listed over here, is going to be Doge, XLM, BCH, Link, TRX, even Hype, right, is still down against Bitcoin, TON, AVAX, Cardano, BNB, Leo, Shiba Inu, ETH, almost right at the bottom over there alongside Litecoin and Polkadot. What you want to be doing is focusing on the coins that have shown relative strength. Now, given this does only consider the top 20, right? This is only considering the top 20. So, of course, beyond the top 20 list, there are definitely other coins that are still pretty decent. But from this list, my picks would be Solana, 𝗬𝗎. I'm going to skip XRP, HBAR. I would consider it, but probably not. It's probably going to be between Solana and 𝗬𝗎, and then we'll go through a couple of other picks, right? So if ETH BTC does actually break out over here in the last 3 weeks, there has been, again, similar to what the bulls are battling on Bitcoin to defend that level. The bulls and the bears are fighting for that level. You have the bulls and the bears on the ETH BTC chart also fighting for this level with 3 weeks of absorption into this level, right? So only time will tell. We need to be a little bit more patient on this. We can move down onto the daily time frame. There's your daily. Let's see if we get continuation with a couple of days in a row of upside. Your first sign, I'm gonna mark this one off over here just because things are getting exciting as we move into February. I'm gonna go with your first. This would be an aggressive entry. Your first aggressive entry will make it on the daily. Let's put it in pink over there. That would be an aggressive entry, a safer entry to say that something is changing and bulls are reclaiming victory for ETH against Bitcoin over here would be a reclaim above that level, right? So we'll keep an eye on this. What this means for you is that there is still, of course, work to be done, right? You need to get above this level. You're probably going to chop about. You still need to get above this level. And only once you successfully reclaim around this zone over here, can you say that, you know, bulls are back. Bulls are back and the altcoin season could potentially take off. So we know that when you look at the funding rate heat map, there's been, again, in alignment with this chart over here, a lot of indecision, a lot of apathy within the market. People they've been wrecked, right? They don't want to take any other trades, and that's why you have neutral and negative funding over there. So something to keep an eye out on. If you look at a bunch of the coins that have been hit the hardest, what I found very, very interesting yesterday is just going through this list over here. And what you can do is you can just look at the stochastic RSIs just for a simplistic overview. And let's make that nice and big. Let's make this as well nice and big just so you can see it clearly. There it is, right? So you can see these stochastic RSIs are all reset. Remember, you'll get hurt if you trade these things in isolation. You need much more than a stochastic RSI being at the bottom. You need it to cross up. You need to be hitting key support. You need to have breakup structures on the low time frames to have a trigger long trade, right? But at the end of the day, what we can see visually on the chart is you have come into a key range low, right? So this is WIF, right? This is your range low. Stochastic RSIs have now fully reset. So we can have a look at a couple of these coins over here and see, right? If you look at Pepe, you're seeing something similar, right? These have been some of the hardest hit coins. This is a key level over here, major level of support. Previous resistance, which you flipped into support, created the origin of the move and catapulted price up. And you have the stochastic RSIs all the way at the bottom. Could this come lower? Absolutely, it could come lower, but it could also be front runs. So you could see something like that. And then you might start to get these turning back towards the upside. Point is that, you know, it's been a hard flush on a lot of positions, but it's not over, right? If you look over here on Brett, same thing, right? Coming directly into that key support, you're showing potential for this momentum to start to turn. So it's all in alignment, right? In terms of what we expect for February. Now, a lot of people look at these things, which means that they can fail. If too many people are focused on these things and too many people understand the way that this works, then it might not work. But I think what we also underestimate sometimes is that we're in this echo chamber, right? Most of you are here each and every single day. I'm here each and every single day. We all know these things. But do the rest of the retail participants who will probably come into the market when there is more excitement and in that end game, in the end phase of the crypto cycle, do they know these things? Probably not, right? So therefore, I would stick with the trend. I would stick with the probabilities, and the probabilities do suggest that you could see a big move. Just quickly going back to WIF over here to give you some additional perspective, how I've just said that this is a key level, right? This is a key level. This is your weekly scale. If you go a step further over here and we have a look at WIF on the daily, well, what you're seeing is you are printing bullish divergence. If you look over here, there is bullish divergence, and not just double bullish divergence, but triple. 1, 2, 3 touch points, momentum oscillator moving higher, lower highs on the lower lows and lower highs on the USD pair. Which is a downtrend, yes, but we're starting to see the signs of the bullish momentum, money flow starting to turn back up. You're getting the crossover here between the ribbons, and it's looking like it wants to start to move. And then when you view it on the daily, this is also what you're seeing, right? The falling wedge, which we know is a bullish chart pattern. Yes, we are below the yearly open, which is not a good sign. You want to start to get back above that, at which point, if you do reclaim the yearly open, what you would see is those stochastic RSIs on the weekly would be turned up. You would also have that the bullish divergence confirming with price moving up, starting to play out the measured moves. But at the end of the day, key support, right? Key support over here, falling wedge right at the apex of the wedge over there. So again, if you're a super safe trader, all you have to do is wait for a reclaim of the range low, at which point you call that a deviation, and then you start to trade it back towards the top side of the trading range. And if the market cycle goes bonkers, you might even go into price discovery, right? So that's just one example. You can go and pull this across multiple different coins and you'll probably see something similar, right? So if we go on to Brett, it's very similar, right? I'm not going to draw all the lines in right now, but you have this falling wedge coming into the key support, and we can go over here onto Brett to see the momentum oscillator as well. What do you have over there? You also have bullish divergence, right? You have your green triangle, blue dot. Anytime that we've previously had this, you have got pretty sizable moves, right? So even if it was just a little bit of a dead cat bounce, here you had the bullish divergences, green dot that led to the entire move up over there. So there is definitely here on Brett also some opportunity. So I've been looking to build these positions up a little bit bigger. I'm consolidating some of my memes, moving into what I think are positions that will do well. Kind of the blue chip ones, I guess, would be, Pepe, Brett. We have Landwolf, Andy, Bird Dog. That is part of the boys club. Then we have, in terms of Solana memes, I mean, I'm obviously looking at WIF. My full portfolio has been dropped as well. By the way, if any of you go into Whale Room in the Discord over here, I did drop an updated version for you guys yesterday, right? So just scroll through. There we go. Just scroll through over here. There it is. I've dropped it over there. It's a screen recording. If you want to see the full portfolio and everything that I'm holding, it is listed over there, right? Also, something interesting that I thought I'd just bring up over here. This was from 𝗕𝗢𝗕𝗦, right? According to 𝗕𝗢𝗕𝗦 already, you have a form of QE, which has already come, right? He says, here's what you're not being told. The Treasury is printing money like mad. Just today, they announced a $241 billion new money. $240 billion worth of new money will be printed on February the 3rd. Coming up, that could be a bit of a catalyst, right, to get that Feb momentum. And he says that's via the Treasury auction. Quantitative easing is beginning, and Jerome Powell won't tell you until it's too late to enter low, right? And he says buy spot crypto and hold. And he says you can even go verified. So if you go through to his Twitter, you can actually go and look at what the Treasury is doing over there. So I found that interesting because every cycle they use different program names that are very ambiguous terminologies for quantitative easing, right? So sometimes they can pull the wool over your eyes and you may miss it, which is why it's important to focus on the charts. And I just found this to be very interesting, right? The fact that all these stochastic RSIs on a lot of the coins that have been hit so hard are fully resetting. If you look at other coins, though, we can look at things like Solana. Momentum's already well on its way towards the upside. ETH is still down and about to turn. Hype won't have enough price history, but we got a great entry on that trade, and that's looking good. Phantom is about to turn back up, so you never know. Maybe that's it, right? Maybe the shakeout for Phantom is done. You can always use the daily time frame to get a better entry point over there. All right, 𝗬𝗎 as well. If you look at 𝗬𝗎 over here on the weekly, it's still trending down, but I can very quickly, easily see the reclaim of $4, right? Getting back above that 380 sweep is significant. On a daily time frame, you might see it a little bit better over here. So let's go to 𝗬𝗎. That starts to become pretty significant. Let's go to 𝗬𝗎 over here. And these are some of the top picks, right? Remember what I just said. You want to stick with strength, right? You want to stick with strength. Where did 𝗬𝗎 go on this one? I feel like I'm missing it over here. Let's quickly see. 𝗬𝗎. No, that's not the right one. 𝗬𝗎. Let's try that again. There it is. Okay, so 𝗬𝗎. There it is, right? So this is what I'm looking at. 𝗬𝗎 momentum oscillator giving the oversold and the green triangle over there, which oftentimes says that you're going to bounce. At the moment, it is range bound. So, of course, putting in lower lows and lower highs. But if 𝗬𝗎 can start to gain acceptance above 390, this was one of the targets that we had when price was already at this level over here, starting to put in the lower highs on the daily. We said expect a sweep of 390. If it can hold 390 over here, that becomes major support. Then you can start to trade it back towards the range high. And then you would expect that all of this will start to turn back up. And this can quickly start to move, right? So that is 𝗬𝗎 over there. If, however, the downtrend continues and there is more pain, you would expect a rejection somewhere around here. If it goes down and holds under there one more time, you do have to look down towards 290, right? Okay. I know a lot of you are asking about 𝗕𝗓𝗡, right? Let's have a look at 𝗕𝗓𝗡. Many are saying that 𝗕𝗓𝗡 pumped. out of absolutely nowhere. I think 𝗬𝗓𝗓 was also in a falling wedge. So let's have a look. How big is the pump? How big is the pump? Okay, here is the pump. This is a super messy chart. It's not that big. It's not that exciting to me personally. Look, well, this is what we highlighted from this area over here. If it was going to play out, let's bring that line back over there. I said if it was going to play out like a lot of the other coins that we've seen, where you had the falling wedge, price breaks out but gives up all of the gains, but then it ends up turning into a big cup and handle, then you'd want to see, this start to grind up very, very, very quickly. What I would say to this pump that you've had over here is I would still rather wait for a closing candle above 1820. And if you do start to reject from here later on today and you start to move down, then we will just adjust that level, right? Then I'd wait for multiple closing candles above wherever the local high is set. So I don't know what the reason is. Remember, you can always go to Banter Bubbles over here. And you can actually go to 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓. Where's 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓? There's 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓, and you can click on it. And then you can just wait for the chat to pop up. Hopefully I'm logged in. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm going to log in right now. And you can see, oh, there we go. So you can see potential Coinbase listing for 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓. That's why, basically, right? That's probably the reason that 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 pumped. So they're obviously speculating that there might be some sort of a listing for 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. But anyway, let's do the exercise. How does 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 look over here? How does 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 look in terms of its stochastic RSIs on the weekly? Also kind of being reset over here, starting to turn back towards the upside. Here's your weekly scale. I cut the position a long time ago because I said I'm not a fan of when you start to break out like this and then you just start to give up a lot of that territory and gains. And in hindsight, it was a great decision because price obviously bled out a lot. But yeah, in terms of levels, you do have an important area over here. This is, I'll kind of draw out two zones over here between there and between there. This is kind of like a big SR flip region, right? On 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. So you definitely want to you want to hold this and you want to see price starting to move up. Okay, upgrade on 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, they say as well. Cool, upgrade on 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. That could be part of the reasons why. All right, what else? What else do we have, guys? Let me know in the comments. We can pull up a few of the requests. I see you guys are asking for Goku again. Yes, Goku is in price discovery, right? Very, very, very good, right? So we spoke about this yesterday. We said it's most likely going to breach through that 2930 level. And once it gets through that, you should see rapid expansion up towards the 1.618. That is 4 cents, right? 4 cents at least. Most of the time, if we do see, all of these coins, right? Everything with the momentum oscillators coming up, strong February, then I would expect that, this thing probably runs it all the way up here to the 9 cent region, which is going to be the 3.618 fib extension. So Goku looking really good, 5,500, very wealthy. Everyone's in profit holders, right? Looking good over there. All right, cool, guys. Let's go into a couple more. NEAR, let's have a look at NEAR. NEAR is one of the. Let's check on these high time frames though, just to get some better perspective since we are coming into a monthly close. Okay, so there's your NEAR chart. This is the overall trading range. You broke that level. You've backtested multiple times into that. Look, NEAR needs to get back above last week's high. That's your mid-range, $5.59. If you can get back above there and hold, should be looking good for continuation. So that is NEAR. We can have a look at Turbo. Yes, Turbo. So a lot of people still interested in the memes. All right. Okay, there we go. You can look at that stochastic RSI. Really reached down into a pretty critical zone over there. Strength also back above last week's high, right? That will break you back into the old trading range. Then you can consider this a trap. That would also leave enough room to turn this back towards the upside and start to move momentum up. So I'd be looking for a reclaim of at least over here 0.007, right? 0.007. All right, let's see Altura as well. Altura. Okay, Altura, there it is. Okay, Altura, this is a big SR flip region on the weekly scale. You can see price has come into that zone. So as long as it continues to hold that, that should be looking good. Altura, I am currently a holder of Altura as well. I just want to see it defend this range low region, right? So no candles breaking. Let's see. Let's wait for the weekly close, right? We need 2 more days over here. If the weekly close is green, your new invalidation would be under the weekly low, which is 0.08, at which point you'd expect that this should trade up with the rest of the market. And then, of course, you can just look to the breakout level. Get above that, and it's price discovery, right? Off to the races. Okay, what else do we have? 𝗕𝗓𝗓 and 𝗕𝗓𝗓. Yes, okay, let's go to 𝗕𝗓𝗓 first. How's 𝗕𝗓𝗓 doing on the weekly scale? Okay, weekly scale, stochastic RSI is fully reset right down in the bottom of the range low support. There it is. That's it, right? Key support. So these are the resets that we've been looking for. This has been mostly range bound for quite some time. So, your full confirmed breakout starts to occur when you get above these candles over here. But, it's always better to buy these things near the range low if you are looking for a position. This is the range low. Pretty similar to 𝗕𝗓𝗓, I would say. And for most coins, for that matter, is you want to defend the recent wick lows, right? So where the wick lows are on this one, it's going to be 0.001655. Okay, and then we had 𝗲𝗏 was the other request. So let's have a look at 𝗲𝗏. All right, 𝗲𝗏, also full reset, right? This one looks a little bit more brutal though, to be honest with you, because this was the range low, right? And you're now trading multiple weeks below that range low. So I have a small position in 𝗲𝗏, the original one that I took, the original trade. That's why it was small, because it was downtrending when I took the position, but it was in a falling wedge that looked like it could break out. And it did start to show some signs of life, right? At one point, you started to get that breakout over here, right? There it was. This was essentially the falling wedge that we're looking at, like that. Started to break out, and now it's failed that. Not a good sign. What you want to see is a reclaim of the range level over here. It's got a lot of work to do. We'll have to reevaluate in the future. 𝗲𝗏 has a lot of work to do, a lot of levels to reclaim before it starts to flip bullish. Okay, hype. Yeah, let's go to hype, since that is a recent position that was taken. Let's just see which chart I have it on. There it is. So hype on the daily. This is what we're looking at. We wanted to see the daily close above 25, and we got it, right? I was establishing my longs over here around the range. So I think I picked it, most of my hype up between this candle on Friday and this candle on Monday, right? So up nicely on the position over here. I think on average, like over 20% up. Now I'll be looking for any sort of a pullback, right? And, the pullback may already be done. You have to be a little bit patient on this. Because you already had a 4-hour fair value gap over here, which has been filled. That wick that came in over there took that liquidity. It's filled the position. It may just be prepping for the next move up, right? So it may be on a low time frame, kind of bull flagging. I think if you get lucky enough to get it down at 25, that's probably a good zone. Let's see if we have anything else on a lower time frame. So, this is your range low, right? So if you're focusing on low time frame trading and you want to gain your positions in on the hourly, any sweep of this range low, which is going to be 25.46, if you're lucky enough to get this, right? Watch for this. If you get something like this, the reclaim, as it reclaims, that's the entry over there. Stop loss goes below wherever the wick low would be. I can draw it in a little bit neater for you, maybe using this. So if you see something like this, right? Sweep down, maybe you come for this hourly fair value gap, which actually is not yet filled. That means you'll drop down to about just under 25. If you can get it just under 25, reclaim back on this hourly range at 25.40, that will start to look good. Take the trade over here, start to look for the long trade, and then stop loss goes below. Of course, guys, you need to have a little bit of skill to understand how to do this. Don't just blindly do it. It all depends on how price is moving into that level. Remember, that is why I said join in on Whale School, right? Great opportunity where I'll actually speak you through each of these things step by step. Remember, sign up to K6, no KYC required, claim your sign-up deposit bonus, and there's no trading fees, right? And that will get you into Whale School. They use the user ID to verify you. So when you apply, they're going to ask you for your user ID, and that's how you'll get verified to get in. And we start later today. Okay, cool. So that is hype, right? That is hype over there. Also, if you are a good trader, if you know exactly what I'm talking about, you're a great trader, remember you can take the challenge over here on Bitfunded. Bitfunded is linked below as well. The link is below. Essentially, you take the assessment challenge. There is a challenge fee. It's a trial fee that you pay. If you can pass the challenge, you have to go through a couple of trades over there. They'll give you up to this one is $79. Will give you $5,000 to trade with. You keep 90% of the profits, right? The trades go up to 100,000, so you can win $100,000 trading account. So there isn't that much of an excuse, but this is really, I encourage you, only if you know what you're doing, take this challenge. If you are brand new to trading, you're probably just going to lose the challenge fee. So I don't want you to lose the challenge fee, right? At least you guys know who you are. You know who you are. If you know how to trade, you know exactly what a prop firm challenge is. You know what I'm talking about. The link is below, right? I believe they've made some very good changes over there as well in terms of how you can adjust the stop loss and things like that. So go check them out. Linked below. All right. 𝗲𝗎𝗓. Yeah, let's have a look at 𝗲𝗎𝗓. 𝗲𝗎𝗓, we had an insane trade on 𝗲𝗎𝗓 a couple of months ago. Let's see how it's doing. Well, we're out the trade, right? I've closed the positions by now, but just out of interest, where's this one at? It still looks decent, right? Range-bound environments, stochastic RSIs are resetting over here. And ultimately, you know, this could just be, it is, of course, highly volatile, very, very, very choppy. But, you know, you could have your lows, high, low. This could be the next major high, low. This will start to look good if you get back above the top of the range, 0.039, right? Get above that, that looks like, and then you go for aggressive moves at that point, right? So that is 𝗲𝗎𝗓. I don't know, I need to maybe try get another entry into this. Will there be an opportunity? Understand also that you need to look at the lower timeframes to get your entries, because this is theoretically still downtrending, right? I mean, look at that, just lower highs. So you have a lot of work to do to break the structure over here. Okay, that is 𝗲𝗎𝗓 for you. All right, Altcoin. Yes, let's have a look at Altcoin. I did see that there was some action over there, so let's quickly pull it up. Do I not have one already drawn out? It's okay. Altcoin, let's go to, hold on guys, let me just try that again. There we go. I knew I had one drawn up, this one. Okay, weekly is not giving us much. Let's go on to the daily. It's not enough history over there. Oh, it's down 10%. It's getting wrecked. Man, this is such a messy chart. Let's clean this up a little bit. Okay, coming into the yearly open though. Let's expand this a little bit. I don't love it as major support, but if you're looking on the, okay, I'm on the hourly, that's the problem. Let's go into the daily. Now I understand. There we go. That's why it looks so strange. I think it's going to take a bit of time. I think for Altcoin, it's going to take a bit of time. I think it's going to continue to chop in this area, right? So where these lows have formed, you might lose the yearly open a couple of times. I don't think it's ready to just run it yet, right? So, you know, my expectation would be something like this. Okay, it's going to chop for a couple more days, and you'll probably get a few more wicks that run down into even as low as 80 cents. And if it can hold this as a range low, you know, then it's good, right? Then eventually it'll reclaim the yearly open, and then it will start to run. All right, cool. Checking the chat, guys. You got to let me know in the chat as well what else you want. Everybody, let me know what you want. I'll see if there is a common theme of something that you want charted. I know some of you want Ondo. Let's have a look at Ondo on the daily time frame. Haven't looked at this chart for quite some time. Look, possibility that that's a major high low. You are above the yearly open, which is the first good sign. And this is a clear range high, right? An SR flip. Potential SR flip over here. So slight deviation above, rounded bottom, comes back up. It even could start to look like a cup and handle formation. It is just a little bit lopsided, but that's what trading is, right? You have to be able to recognize these things. So that's, yeah, as long as it's above the yearly open, that's the invalidation, right? I'd be long on this as long as it doesn't lose that candle, which is the yearly open as well. That is, well, slightly below yearly open. That is $1.31. $1.318. Okay, let's have a look at Zeus as well. I think Zeus took a little bit of a dip. How's it looking now? So under cross-chain, they're trying to do big things as a project. Lost the yearly open. Look, it was bleeding out, but this is an optimistic candle, this one that's formed over here, because you're also trying to reclaim, again, what's a clear S of flip region, right? Just focus on the cursor. You have that wick into there, which was support. You have resistance, deviate that level. And now you could be flipping this into support. Support over here leads into the big move up. And now a couple of wicks through there as well, holding a support. So if you wanted a risky trade, I guess stop loss goes below this Monday low. You don't want to see it break back below there. But understand you are still buying a downtrend, right? If you look on the 4 hourly, this is just purely downtrending. Lower lows and lower highs. But on the daily, there is some signs that bulls may try and take control of this particular area. All right, cool, guys. Also, I do want to mention, if you do want to build yourself an AI agent, one of the places that you can do that is on FOMO, right? There's a link in the description below that will take you to FOMO. You can look at the hot agents that have already been built. If you do want to purchase any of those and you want to check them out, feel free, go click on that over there. You can have a look. Or you can literally just create your own agent, right? So you need to connect your Phantom wallet, your Solana wallet. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is like the pump.fun for meme coins, but it's for AI agents, right? So if you want to launch your own AI agent, literally just add an image, create a name, create a ticker for it, say what sort of personality you want it to have, add in the social links, and then Bob's your uncle, hits connect, and off it goes, right? Link is below for that. So let's close off over there. I will be doing another show tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate each and every single one of you. We'll have to see how the week closes, but I think February looks optimistic, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers for now.